What's up, guys? Sub-Zeric here, back for another VOD review today. Do another wasianiverson VOD review from his stream where, here, let me just move my head. I mean, you can see the 2.0 AVP. I mean, 2.4 actually. His game before this was a 4th. Okay, sorry, he's a noob. But he absolutely smurfed up this stream, and I wanted to watch more of him because, I mean, he is probably the best player in North America right now, especially if you add the qualifier to that to say he's the best player right now that's streaming, because a lot of people are not streaming because they're playing in EWC, the 4v4, and so, like, you know, Wasian's not playing in that. I believe his team got eliminated. So, hey, it's good for us. He gets to play more solos. It's also, I thought about doing some like 4v4 content or even some APAC Cup content, but all this stuff's on the previous patch. And like, I doubt you guys want to see a VOD on last patch. So let's watch Wasian play in the current patch, play with all these new toys, the new items and everything like that. Maybe if they hadn't added items, I'd do a VOD of last patch. But in any case, make 10 here, I think makes perfect sense. And looking at our start here, we have kind of a lot of pieces, right? We have Mundo 2 with 2 Seraphines, so, you know, this could lean towards a Techie Gorilla Reroll comp. We also do have Jax pair and Poppy pair, so this could play almost towards a Bastion Reroll comp, but I don't know, this comp has been nerfed pretty hard, so it's not as good anymore. We do actually, man, it goes to, if Wasian doesn't take adaptive strikes here, then he just thinks, I mean, to be fair, his items don't really jump. Like, there's no slam for adaptive strikes, but we would legit have Jax too. But I mean, with no slam, you almost can't take this just because, I mean, there's no slam. Yeah, I don't really like any of these augments that much here, I will say. I mean, yeah, Wasian looking at it, he's like, is it an over-encumbered, like, a quite mediocre augment? Kingslayer, Patience is a virtue. Patience is a virtue is probably my favorite augment out of these, but the only problem with taking Patience is it means you can't play one cluster reroll from the spot. It means that, you know, there's no way we're playing, you know, Techie reroll or anything like that. Over-encumbered does actually keep basically all of our options open. So I think, yeah, I think this makes sense. And we do hit a Seraphine too. Let me full screen, unfull screen so the thingy goes away. And yeah, we hit Seraphine too. We have all this stuff. So honestly, we can still think about playing Techie reroll from this spot. Wasian, you know, he hasn't committed to anything at this point. We haven't leveled, which keeps us, you know, open. If we had leveled here and just played the Poppy here, that would mean that we can't play one cluster reroll here. But with 4 Mundos and a belt, I mean, the most important component for Mr. Mundo is Giant's Belt. You really want to get to that Warmogs for him. I actually wanted to pull up the stats because I believe everything that I've seen about this new, the one that was Redemption but is now Spirit Visage, everything that I've seen about it has kind of indicated to me that it's pretty underwhelming. And I went to pull up, yeah, and so, like, I mean, it's not a huge differential in stats, but yeah, I mean, it looks like Warmogs is a much better item on Mundo than Spirit Visage is, which, you know, it makes sense to me. I don't think you're, I mean, I think the item's just a little bit understated, which is, I mean, it's a fun item. It's a cool item. So, I mean, I'm excited for it to become better later. But I mean, you can even see in a, here, let me pause this real quick and just pull over op.gg and show, like, you can even see something like a Warmogs outperforms something like a Warmogs and Spirit Visage. So yeah, just in general, with items, you're not that excited about putting, I mean, it's okay. You'll throw it onto him. And, you know, there are certainly spots where, you know, you just have to make it. The main thing, though, is that, like, oftentimes you don't even need to make it because you're going to be using your tiers for items for Seraphine, items for Zyra. Also, that was probably Wasian stream lagging, and I mean, I won't worry about it. But yeah, we are honestly, it looks like Wasian has just locked himself into, in his head, this reroll comp. I think it makes a lot of sense. This is a comp that over-encumbered should do pretty well into. It's going to give us the items that are going to allow us to actually itemize everybody, get us to Mundo items here. Wouldn't be shocked if we took a Warmogs off Carousel here just to guarantee it onto Mundo. And yeah, I do think that is the perfect take here. It's basically the best item onto Mundo, and guaranteeing it immediately is fantastic. And I mean, like, we're looking at the stats. You can never have too many Warmogs on this dude. BIS is probably not Warmogs. It's probably something like a Warmogs Declaw Bramble Vest and just get a bunch of Armor Namar to scale up his HP. But I mean, yeah, we are never mad making Warmogs, and you can never have too many belts in this comp, though it is kind of interesting. Guardbreaker used to be a really great option onto Seraphine. Nowadays, probably not a great option, just because you're not critting that much. I guess with JG and Guardbreaker, you could maybe make it work, but I imagine it's like not, even under that circumstance. Actually, I'm down to explore this out. If I have a Seraphine who is star level 3 and I have a Jeweled Gauntlet onto her, Striker's Flail. Actually, the stats do like Striker's Flail a lot in that case. So yeah, you do, it's kind of interesting. Critical strikes grant 5% damage amp for 5 seconds. So I guess the hope is you hit a bunch of units, crit on them, and then the Guard Breaker. Yeah, okay. I mean, and it lasts for a while, so your autos can crit as well. Okay, so if you have a JG, you can still build a Guard Breaker and feel good. We also won the last fight, so now we don't really mind winning this one. Yeah, I mean, honestly, a 3-loss into 2-win here is pretty good from an HP perspective from Wei Xin. Also, the other thing to note is that we are in an extra gold galaxy. This is Crabrave. The nice thing is this allows us to not really care about taking early Econ Augment, and still we're kind of like guaranteed to find our board. We're going to have way enough gold to roll here at 3-1 to hit most of our board, you know, maybe even hit a Mundo 3. We're also probably going to try to not pick up any of the loot orbs off these crabs, just to make sure the orbs don't explode into gold instead of units, because we do still have only the 2 unit slots from over encumbered here. So yeah, ooh, a lot of stuff to pick up. So we want to start picking this up the second we get the chance to get Pan. Okay, a Pan is fantastic in this comp here. And yeah, like I said, we're going to roll down here. And honestly, yeah, I think this makes a lot of sense. We're close enough to a lot of stuff so that we can roll here. Roll down to 33, even down to 31, and once we hit the Seraphine, we say, okay, you know what, that's probably good enough here. Item-wise here, he's looking at the Gargoyle to make here, interestingly enough. I was looking at maybe Bramble here, but he's going to just chill on just the red buff at this moment here. And we do have the 2 Reforgers, so we can do a lot with our components here. But I think red buff, a good start there. And yeah, looks like he wants to reforge. Yeah, he's going to reforge the chain here. All right, not today, Magic Roll Trait Tracker. Magic Roll actually sounds pretty good. It would be actually fantastic if it gives us the extra like HP onto our units. I mean, I don't think it's Trait Tracker. Seems way too awkward to play around here. And it's definitely not today. Oh, Thorn Plated. I mean, it's really nice for Mundo. I feel like I would just take this here, but we'll see if he values Magic Roll. We do already have that Chain Vest kind of stuck on him, but it could just be Bramble Vest. And I mean, you could honestly make Bramble Declaw and then move that Chain Vest and like reforge it or something. And yeah, I think this makes perfect sense. Get the Echo in here for Street Demon. Gonna make the Bramble here. He's just actually gonna make, yeah, actually, this almost makes more sense. We don't get Bramble Declaw, which would be really nice, but we do get now is that we get to reforge this cloak, which is really, really good for getting us to potential Seraphine items and potential Zyra items. You know, we can end up in this world where we actually get to itemize everybody. Whereas if we're sitting here with this extra cloak, I mean, I guess you could make Spark out of it, but it's not amazing, honestly. So I think this is really smart from an item economy perspective for Wei Xin here. Also, there is that Guard Breaker if we want to make it. The thing is you need the Rod off Carousel then. I'm pretty sure. Let me look at Seraphine items. Like if you filter out, because Guard Breaker, I think the stats, or Striker's Flails it's called now. Yeah, if you filter out Jeweled Gauntlet, I'm actually really curious to look at the stats on that, because I imagine it is not very good. Yeah, I mean, it's better than you'd think, honestly. I'm a little bit surprised that Striker's Flail with no Jeweled Gauntlet on Seraphine still actually performs. It's still slightly negative delta. It's about the same as something like a Death Cap, which, yeah, that really surprises me. But I'm pretty sure you still really want the JG here if you can get it. Though it does look like we are. Ooh, wow. Wait, are we really not taking this here? Huh. I'm actually kind of shocked here, and I guess we're just going for Shojin. We're going to finish off items onto Seraphine. I don't really... I mean, huh. So it seems like Wei Xin is not thinking of Striker's Flail that differently than most people thought of Guardbreaker. You know, people would build Guardbreaker with... when we actually want to roll really deep here because we're so close to Mundo 3. This is actually really tragic here. We're also going to just slam the Bruiser +1 here. As I've talked about before, that is usually the one that people like to lean towards, the Bruiser +1 in this comp, and you just throw it onto a backliner like this, eventually onto like a Viego or something like that. But yeah, I mean, you can make Bruiser or Techie +1. Oh, and we finally hit the Mundo here, so nice. But yeah, I mean, honestly pretty surprised by this itemization. I really would have thought, but I mean, the stats bear it out. They say, yeah, if you have a Guardbreaker onto Seraphine building a JG, I mean, it's negative delta, but not by an insane amount. And yeah, honestly, we could literally, I mean, we can't filter down. Like, I was going to filter down Striker's Flail plus red buff, but that's, I mean, still, you have like basically 0 sample if you do that. It's kind of interesting because, yeah, I don't really get why this item would be acceptable. I mean, you are still autoing and critting off that. Also, this fight is hilarious. The Mundo just clutches it out. You're still autoing and critting off that. So I guess the hope is just with the crit chance from Striker's Flail, she's going to auto a few times, get some damage amp, And then, yeah, actually, he actually hovered over it. I wanted, does he? Oh, it's actually gonna be really hard to, and I think the VOD might even be muted. No, it's actually not muted. 38, 30, I actually want to go back and see.
I mean, I'm getting a pretty good angle here. Not sure if I win this.
Because he actually...
Yeah, I'd for sure win this. Surely I win this.
Okay, so this is the fight, because he hovers Guardbreaker here. I want to actually hear what he says about this, because it's kind of, it's a weird idea. Because it's like I said, I would not think that you would want to build this anymore without JG. Okay. What do we say, Wei? What are we saying here?
Is new Guardbreaker especially bad now without critting your ultimate? I'm not sure what you're asking, but it's basically the same item.
So there, I mean, there you have it. He said it's basically the same. I don't completely understand that, honestly. I'll be real. It's one of those spots where, yeah, I just don't get it. I feel like it's not the same item because of the fact that I mean, how often is the Seraphine critting? She's probably gonna, I mean, we can watch the Seraphine's autos, but her ability can't crit. So, you know, one of her auto attacks might crit. Actually, it's really hard to watch here. But yeah, this ult is almost never getting the damage amp. And the damage amp only lasts for, it's 5 seconds, right, from critting. Yeah, 5% damage amp for 5 seconds, stacking up to 4 times. She's almost never stacking up. I mean, I don't know. This almost strikes me as a spot where maybe there's something that I'm missing here, but this almost strikes me as just a situation where Wei is just mistaken about it. But you know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is some way that I'm not thinking about Guardbreaker here, but it seems very odd. In any case, let's continue on here. We do have the big Dr. Mundo here. We have the Mundo 3, we have the Seraphine 3. This is the other thing that it's kind of an innovation of this comp is that I think, especially this patch after Seraphine's been buffed, people tend to really like itemizing the Seraphine over the Zyra here. Like Seraphine is kind of the primary carry for this comp. You saw, even we actually hit Zyra 3 before Seraphine 3 and we still itemized the Seraphine 3. The other really kind of cool thing, and it's actually very natural to do here with our Street Demon Hexes, is to play for a big Seraphine ult. This is something that Brosif talked about. I think he went second. Yeah, he went second at the most recent Tacticians Cup in the Americas. And he talked about how this unit's actually very similar to like Ari from Magic and Mayhem, where you really want to focus on positioning so that she can get a big ult off, because a fight where Seraphine ults, you know, 5 or 6 units is drastically different from a fight where she ends up getting like a wasted ult that only hits like, you know, 2 or 3 units, something like that. The ways to do that, like I said, it's kind of very natural here because we have this triangle formation with our Street Demon in this spot. So it's actually, it's pretty chill for us to put our Seraphine in a spot. But you see how we're putting Seraphine all the way on the edge? The hope is that the enemy units kind of cluster around this Dr. Mundo here. Yeah, honestly, I should use my mouse here. But yeah, kind of like clump around Dr. Mundo like this. You can see how we have this this Cho'Gath here on this side to hope that a few units wrap around here. And yeah, you'll see all these units will wrap around here, and then Seraphine gets a beautiful long ult here on those units that wrap around Mundo, and then on some backliners. The only downside with this is we don't get to like snipe out any kind of corner, but I mean, just hitting the majority of the enemy front line is really, really nice here. So kind of, I mean, this is very similar to the Ari positioning where you kind of have Seraphine on the edge here and then have the units wrap around your biggest tank here. You see, like, if we put Seraphine on this side here, it would actually be much worse because all these units would just create like a line here and Seraphine wouldn't get a good ult off. So yeah, kind of, you can think about her similar to Ari positioning, a little different, obviously, but in a similar way to Ari from set, what was that, Magic and Mayhem? That was set 12, right? I honestly... I've said this before, but like the second a CFT set ends, that set is just out of my memory. But yeah, we're playing 6 Techie here actually with the Bruiser +1, and not 100% sure if that is because Wasian really loves playing around 6 Techie or because we happen to hit 6 Techie. I think it's more that. But we'll see. You know, we can, if we end up picking up other Bruisers down the line, maybe we'll pivot to that version. We still need a Mars Shred here, so we're gonna reforge here. Now we have to make Spark here, and then we're just going double Shojin Spark here, which is kind of hilarious. And the Spark just going to go onto the Cho'Gath here mostly because of positioning, right? I mean, the Mordekaiser is a much better holder of the Spark, but we kind of need Mordekaiser to be frontlined with the Virtue of the Martyr. I'm kind of surprised we didn't just move Mordekaiser back and give him the Spark and then move Virtue of the Martyr to Cho'Gath. The only reason I can think to not do that is because of the way that Mordekaiser's ult works. He ults in a line, and so you kind of want him on the top on the edge. Whereas if you have him walking up here, he's going to get pretty bad ults off. That's the only thing I can think of. But honestly, I mean, it's a good enough reason to do this. But yeah, I mean, you can see the power of this comp when you get to 3-item Mundo and 3-item Seraphine. I mean, we're just clearing people, and this is without any combat augments. We do have these item augments, which give us combat power. I'm personally a believer of item augments or combat augments, but you know, there's a little bit of a debate to me made there. But yeah, I mean, we're easily coasting to a top 4, and the question is just how we're going to cap the board. I wish we could go 10 for like a 8 techie or maybe like a 6-6 setup here. I mean, we could, yeah, I mean, that's basically it. You can't, without another spat or something, we can't really do more than that. But I mean, still, Seraphine doing a lot of work here. We'll see what our level up actually ends up being. I mean, the most obvious example is just, well, the most obvious unit to fit in is a Koboko, but we can actually fit that very easily already. There's the JG. I wonder if he is interested at all at the JG to swap things around, because that would kind of make me think. I mean, he said it's the same as the old one. Yeah, he really doesn't care at all about getting the JG. I don't get that at all. Maybe this is yeah, I just don't get it. But okay, level for the Koboko, like we talked about. I mean, we can hold other random units to put in here. I mean, Zac is an obvious. Oh, and I mean, it just has to be Viego onto this board now, and we're gonna throw Garen on the board. Yeah, I think Garen's the best like last in on this board. Guardbreaker gonna go over here. Just once again, random Guardbreaker onto the. I mean, how much crit chance? I mean, it's just getting plus 20% plus it's the base is 25, right? So it's 45% crit chance. Every single auto is a 45% chance to crit. It sounds horrible to me. I really don't get it. But I mean, the stats say that a random Striker's Flail without a JG is not that bad. So I mean, the stats agree with what Wasian is doing here. This is also kind of this is kind of a hilarious setup here. I mean, I will say a double Striker's Flail almost does make sense. This gives you more odds to auto attack and crit here. So this gives you, you know, they kind of scale with each other. I feel like double Strikers is actually not a bad setup now, because more chance to crit means more chance to stack up that extra damage amp here. We get Bruiser mod here. Blah. I mean, I guess we're taking that. What are we even? Wait, who are we Bruiser modding here? I mean, I guess you could throw it onto Viego with the hope that you're hitting, you know, Viego 2 down the line or something like that. I was thinking of just grabbing like Street Demon mod and throwing that onto Koboko here. I can't imagine. I mean, maybe we're just gonna Bruiser mod a backliner. We'll see here. Also, we'll see. Can Mundo clutch out? Yes, he can against the big crab here. We can roll down here. I mean, he's looking at Cho 2. I mean, the question is, yeah, is Cho 2 better than like Garen on this board here? And Wasian certainly says the answer is yes here. You can't actually use the TG very well here, which is kind of hilarious. And oh, we're gonna Gwinsu the Koboko here. I mean, extra attack speed onto him is pretty good once he hits his phase 2 and he goes bonk, 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 bonk. So not bad here. The full carry Koboko is kind of woke cheer. And also top 3 locked in already. Yeah, I mean, Wasian just capping so high in this spot here. But yeah, rolling down. I mean, yeah, I mean, a Cho 2 is a Cho 2. I mean, the Bruiser mod is pretty negligible, so that's the idea behind cutting the Garen from this board, is who really cares about a random Bruiser mod? Had we hit, like, Techie mod, then I think we would certainly just be playing the Garen here. You could even play him on the hope that you get Techie mod down the line, but it looks like Wasian just cares about solid combat strength on this board. Another, you know, 2-star, 4-cost Bruiser is not bad here. Also, this Koboko not bad either, kind of clutching that fight out, just going bonk, 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 bonk. Actually, so satisfying to watch. And yeah, I mean, we can roll here. I mean, yeah, he actually kind of makes the call back and says, you know what, I will actually at this point play the Garen, kind of saying, I mean, also what's the utility in playing a just a completely random Cho'Gath 2 on the board. So yeah, I kind of like this better. This does also, I was gonna say, give you the out of hitting another God of the Net mod, which, you know, allows you to cap a little bit higher. Though, ooh, we do lose this fight. Hopefully it wasn't playing Cho'Gath 2 diff. There's Techie +1. Oh my god. I mean, that's exactly what we needed here. Techie or Bruiser +1. I mean, it could be denied here. Oh, no rats in this lobby, actually. Nobody denying Techie +1 here. We don't have an extra Techie to play on this. Oh my god, and there we get it's Fiddlesticks. Okay, and then move Techie Emblem, of course, over to Koboko. Koboko, fantastic user of Techie Emblem because he loves the AP, and he also, when he does his big his cast, he's also like hitting basically the entire board and applying Techie to them, which is really good. But yep, I mean, really, really fantastic to pick up the Fiddlesticks here. We had to find either Fiddle or Shyvana, right? And we found Fiddle. The Wow, that was a close fight. I was about to say, I'm pretty shocked that fight was so close. I really thought our board was just going to easily clear here. But hey, it's a guard breaker diff. Maybe we'd be doing better if we didn't. Okay, I don't know. I'm not sure what he was looking at there, like moving something, but I mean, those items have to stand to Koboko. So, all right. We also have Seraphine in the middle at this point just to try to get her a big ult off on, like through the entire front line. I mean, this guy is pretty big Cypher cash out, but we'll see what Brand can do here. Oh, we lose this fight. So wait, we're going to stage 7 now, which means another fight against the Crab. I mean, if Paprika loses to Crab here, I mean, it's still fine. He is going to move. Oh, so he's going to move. Interesting. Gwinsu back to the Koboko and say he really likes this Gwinsu one. Huh. I'm honestly down to just look at Koboko because I was really not thinking of Gwinsu being that great on him. I mean, the stats on just Koboko, Gwinsu's, I mean, it looks totally fine on him. Maybe the idea is with 8 Techie and Koboko too. He's strong enough that he can go for it. But all right, grab Hodge here and also just a little bit of repetitive MR Shred here in the Void Staff. I like this a lot. And then throw it onto the Seraphine. You really got to be careful throwing Void Staff onto units. You want a unit that applies it very well, kind of the same as Red Buff here. And oh my god, I think these items were the diff here for Wasian. Kind of a crazy game. Okay, honestly, if somebody can explain to me, that is the only thing I do not understand about this VOD, watching it over, is why he actually thinks that Guardbreaker is totally acceptable on units like this, because I feel like you must not be proccing it almost at all. I mean, I guess the stats on it are like okay. Yeah, that I still don't understand, but still a great VOD from Wasian showing off how to play around this comp, how to itemize, playing around Seraphine, positioning, all this kind of stuff. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my Twitch and Metafy, all my links down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.